we want to be the #1 vision training product throughout the United States and globally. And we want to benefit as many athletes in their journey, okay, to get where they need to be.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Championship Leadership Podcast. And we got a special guest today, Jim Konkler, just outside of Houston, Texas, but with Swivel Vision. And Jim is a part of Boom America TV show starring original Shark Tank member Kevin Harrington, along with myself. I'm a part of the A team as well. And so it's been a great opportunity to be able to work with Jim and his company and Swivel Vision, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. But Jim, I always like to ask this question. Championship Leadership is the name of my podcast. So what comes to mind for you when you hear championship leadership? Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, being that I've been involved with sports my whole life, championship leadership is a unique club, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You have to be at the highest level to achieve that
Yep.
category.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. I think that probably leads us pretty well into, why don't you give us a little backstory on yourself and, you know, the journey you've been on and how that's taken you to where you are today and how that's led you to your company, Swivel Vision, and that product and you know, where you're at today and what you're looking to do with that.
Okay, yeah. So I've been coaching high school football for 16 years, youth football for another 15 years. And during that journey of dealing with youth and, up to the high school levels, we've noticed so many bad mechanics that we all have. I mean, we're not all gifted like a Tom Brady is or a Peyton Manning. So I coached defense, I coached linebackers, and during that process, I would notice the same mistakes over and over again. So I decided there's got to be a better way. And one day I decided, well, you know what? We're going to tape the helmets and cut off your peripheral because you don't seem to understand when I say you got to be head on a swivel, and that's where the name came.
Yeah.
It didn't sink in. And so when I did that, I noticed an immediate effect in the right direction. And so during that process, I went to a good lifetime friend of mine and brought him the idea after I had gotten the provisional patent. And long story short, we put this whole thing together, and today we're now with the final product. It's fully patent utility, design. We also designed it to fit underneath the helmets, not just for football, but for the catchers, hockey goalies, anybody that has a mask, and to cover over glasses. So
Yeah.
where we have now is one of the unique things is we didn't realize, but it actually covers every sport. Where the
Yeah.
eyes go, the body will follow.
Right.
And the mechanics of all of us need to be taught. And there's not a lot of tools out there that can teach you the proper mechanics. And for Swivel Vision, we've gotten it at the highest levels. Okay. So last night, the Texas Rangers just won the World Series for the first time. They trained with them.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We've got Joe Burrows and LSU when they won the national title. Prior to winning that, they trained with them, Jamar Chase, Terrence Marshall, and also Justin Jefferson. Okay.
Wow.
And so it's just been escalating from there. The Denver Broncos have had them with the no-fly zone, and that's great for football, baseball, softball, hockey. Right now, we're probably on, I think, about at least 11 NHL teams. The most recent was last year's Maple Leafs, and they just loved them. They started in October training with them, and
Uh-huh.
they had their best season when it comes to making it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time, I think, in 20 years. So we've gotten a great response from all these players and coaches, and we're global. We're in countries in Europe, training with them for soccer, handball, floorball,
Yeah.
sports we didn't even recognize that we would
Yeah.
even be involved in.
Yeah.
But with the vision, it's endless, and
Uh-huh.
it's for boys and girls. It's one size fits all. So
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, Nate, is we're just trying to continue that journey, and it's a climb, but we're going up, and it's getting better and better, and we're getting so much response from all levels. Just the most recent purchase we had, which is interesting to me, was flag football for women. It was a college. There's 15 because I checked on it now throughout the United States only, but women's flag football is a sport that I didn't see, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I reached out and asked them what was the purpose of the purchases. Was it for your skill positions, which normally we get that your DBs, quarterbacks, receivers, right? and we've had linemen and other ones, but usually skill positions. They said no for flag pulling. Okay, now I think about that. That's the most important
Oh,
thing you can do in flag football is pull the flag.
yeah,
Okay,
right. Absolutely. Yeah.
tackle football, it's tackle. I used
Yeah.
to tell my players if you can tackle, we can win. But if you
Yeah.
can't, there's no purpose of us being out here. You
Yeah.
know, and so it just caught my attention and realized that we got an endless uh, um, um, opportunity with athletes from all different ages and levels and sports. We're into cricket also right now. Over in
Okay.
England, we got
Yeah.
them training with the cricket. So you think about it, vision is the most important thing you have.
What about golf?
Golf, we're definitely in golf. Um, and I know that even Kevin, he really liked them. And
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot more of that because it is important to keep your head down.
Right.
And what it does is it takes away the distractions, which is the most important. And he found the value from just talking to him briefly wasn't for driving the ball, but was for putting and chipping. And
Sure.
putting is the most important thing in my mind. I don't golf as much, but my son's an avid golfer. It's like this. If you can get down to the end zone, but you can't get the ball in, what good is it? You have to end up doing a field goal, right?
Yeah.
So they always call it the red zone. Well, I'm thinking in golf, you're looking at the same kind of mindset. I drove that ball, 250 yards. I chipped it up onto the green. I'm there in two, and I don't get out of there until five. I
Yeah.
just took three putts to get it in.
Right.
So if you can get that down to one stroke less,
Yeah.
okay, now you've decreased your value of your game.
Yeah.
And this is where the value came in with the hockey players. When I talked to the Boston Bruins coaches years ago, with Tuukka Rask was the goaltender, he told me if you can take one goal away, then we're going to win the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
Well, the Avalanche did that. They got my goggles and they took them and they won the Stanley Cup. All right,
Wow.
the second year, and we have
Yeah.
video of them training with them. Their coach talking about them. So this is all validated, and it's
Sure.
taken time to validate because you think about it. For an athlete to see an increase, it takes time while you're training.
Yeah.
It could be years before you see that
Right.
result. And we're seeing that. We had another example with Masataka. He was and is with the Boston um, uh, team for baseball. He just came from Japan on I think he got like a $9 million contract. Started the year this year horrible,
Uh-huh.
horrible. He got introduced to Swivel Vision from his batting coach. Where he got him, I'm not sure. Sometimes we don't even know where they get them,
Sure.
as far
Yeah.
as buying them from whoever and online. Long story short, they had a couple articles we ran across because some people in Japan had seen him training with them in the batting cage and emailed me. I got bombarded, as you can imagine.
I bet.
He was batting 326. Okay,
Yeah.
after about the second month of starting out at 168 or whatever his batting
Wow.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a hit and miss with as far as who gets quicker from training with them, as far as like compared to like lifting weight with your eyes. I say, listen, if Nate and I are starting off lifting weights and we're lifting the same amount of weight and we're doing the same technique, 3 weeks go by and man, Nate, you got some definition on your arms. You're looking good. How
Yeah.
come I'm not getting it?
Yeah.
Well, because it's going to take longer for certain people.
Right.
It doesn't have a one size fit all deal.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that and some people may be using it a little bit more religiously than others too, right?
Well, yeah, and they
There's a
ask
lot
us
of
what's the
factors.
most time limit, and I said there is no time limit, but you know what? Typically we saw 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, when I used them for our players,
Yeah.
and I also promoted them to use them for other things, like for our football players. I said, hey, go study with them, and they did, and it was
Hmm.
good results there too. Same concept. You block away someone like right now, you and I are having this conversation. We both can see our peripheral.
Yeah.
Tendon's blocked off, and somebody's walking by right now. I can see them because I could see them in yours. You wouldn't see them. Once
Yeah.
you see something, what does it do? Takes away your
Yep.
concentration.
For
And
sure.
that's where the guys who are talking about and the girls when they're batting. Most people when they're batting, man, the distractions are horrible. Could you imagine
Yeah.
being in the World Series and the distractions you must have?
Oh man. Right.
And these
Right.
guys are so focused though, and you have to be, with everything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And it's an interesting process that we're learning and we're gaining more validation, and we're gaining more information and trying to target it towards those resources that we need to get them in front of for them to be able to excel even further. And what I tell coaches that call me and email me is they say, how's the best way to use them? I say, make the most difficult practice session you can possibly have. Because the more difficult the practice, the easier it is in the game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the stories I had was going back to ice hockey. They were telling me they put two boards at a 45 and they're painted white and they use white pucks. And this is how they're practicing. So that's the most difficult thing you can imagine. That puck's coming at what, over 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And it's white on the
Yeah.
white ice. You're
Yeah.
wearing the goggles and you got two boards that are going to be bouncing off from left or right. And you got to
Yeah.
block that. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
But you think
Yeah, no
about it when
doubt.
you're done, you're like, hey, in the game, it's like, this is nothing compared to what my
Yeah,
practice
yeah,
was.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So when did this idea and this come about and turn into what it is today as far as a company? Was this a while ago?
Yeah. So we actually started in 2014 with a prototype and the idea. We used that prototype for a while. It was more of a bulkier, gray looking goggle, which we have on our website is if you go and you look about us. And then we designed the final, which we came out in 2018 with.
Okay.
And we were in Dick's Sporting Goods for about 6 months, almost a year, until the COVID hit, and then we kind of just drifted away from that because it shut a lot of things down, and we were just selling more on Amazon, and we just left it that way.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of traction. So, but now we're back on track again, and we're in a better position because we needed the validation, Nate. Like I talked about, that's the most important. When people say, "Well, does
Yeah.
it work?"
Sure. Right.
Well, we weren't able to say that it worked, and you really can't say 100% because it's not something we can validate 100%. But we
Yeah.
say, look at what we have here from these players and what they're saying, and look at their stats,
Yeah.
and that becomes impressive. And
Yeah.
that's where you have to
Yeah.
measure your product from.
Yeah. You
You know what I
definitely
mean?
get a lot of validation, credibility from, professional athletes and teams using it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's huge. I mean, because they're not going to, you just think about it, professional athletes at the highest levels are not going to use something that doesn't help them. They're all about finding the littlest of edges that they can get to put them on top of their competition. So, yeah, I mean, that's huge for you guys. It's
yeah. And we
awesome.
never paid one athlete at all. These athletes invited us to their, like the Broncos invited us out to their facility. We interviewed them, and they wanted us to come in and have lunch with them. They loved the product and they got them. They reached out to us, and same with all these things. So one of the things we notice about that is, hey, an athlete, and I know this for a fact from coaching all these years, that when you're an athlete, you're superstitious to begin with, and
Yeah.
if something's working, you don't ever want to change what's working,
Right.
right?
Right.
And if they saw themselves in a position where this is making them better than it was yesterday, they
Yeah.
want something to do with it. And then one of the biggest things I got from some of these athletes is, hey, listen, I probably got maybe a year left. Okay. But if this will help me get one more year on my contract, I'm in.
Yeah. For
Because
sure.
that's huge. So you're looking at millions of dollars that they would not receive if they can't go one more year and play,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so that's huge for that. And then for the younger, they want the scholarship. They need that scholarship. College is expensive. Whatever they can get to get themselves a scholarship athletically and scholastically is very important.
Yep.
And so they find out that this makes a lot of sense. And it's such an inexpensive item. We made sure it was $29.99, regardless of what's going on in inflation in the economy right now. We've taken the hit because we don't feel that everybody should have a disadvantage. And we know this from coaching that if your parents and other parents have the money, they can buy the most elite equipment.
Right.
The other ones can't. And there's a disadvantage, right? I want everybody to be on the same playing field with this product. And if you can afford $30, which most people can, well,
Yeah.
not everybody, but most people,
Right.
then you're going to be on the same playing field as the person you're training with and going against, on your own team and against other teams you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
What have been some of the difficulties of the I mean, as a company, as a business, there's a lot of bumps in the road, as you would say, as you grow into what, where you guys are at today. And so, yeah, what have been some of those challenges that you've experienced, and how have you, handled or navigated those as you've moved forward?
Well, the biggest challenge has been the exposure and advertisement. We have gone through eight, at least nine companies
Yeah.
that have been able to say that we'll take all your content, which we have all this amazing content, okay, that we never purchased, and we can triple and quadruple your sales, and they can't do it. And we're not sure why. They're just not good enough. They don't know what they're doing, and we keep going to different ones. So that's
Uh-huh.
our biggest challenge, because people, when we go to conventions and we're in front of them, like I'm in front of you and I have the product, we can sell out right there because I'm
Yeah.
explaining it to them so easily and they can try them on. So we had all these videos, we have all this stuff showing how it works, them talking about how it works, but for some reason they just can't reach the audience that we need them to reach to make the sales the levels we need them to be.
Yeah.
So we currently have working with right now, I don't know, you probably know them, the Locker brothers.
Okay. Yeah. I
Okay,
think.
they're very good. They're very good, and they got us going in the right way for manufacturing costs, because it's gotten higher here in the U.S. So that was a
Yep.
big challenge.
Yeah.
They're helped us with that. They're helping us with the marketing side, helping us redesign our website so it looks more like a Nike style with
Hmm.
all the content that we have. And they're also hooked us up with a company for our Amazon, and we just kicked that off this week. So
Excellent.
we're
Yeah.
hoping with the right people, then good things will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're not good at that. I know what I am.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not that side. My son's
Yeah.
also part of the business, but he can't spend a lot of time because he's got a full-time job. And
Sure.
my other partner, he did a great job at the manufacturing. He did take care of all that. So we
Hmm.
know our roles, but we're not good at this part, and we needed help. And we're
Yeah.
hoping this is
Yeah.
going to work for
Absolutely.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. What's what's the big vision for you guys? Where do you want to take this, and what do you want it to become ultimately for you guys as a company?
Well, we want it to be the number one vision training product globally, and we are global. We're the only ones right now that have this type of product. So we do have an advantage in that way, and it's also kind of a disadvantage. And the reason I say there's a disadvantage to that is because um, there's no competition, and sometimes competition makes you hungrier. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At the same time, we're out in front of everybody, but
Right.
somebody's got to be coming behind us eventually. Even
Yeah.
though we're patented in the United States, which is good, we're not able to do that in all these other countries.
Yeah.
But we want to be the number one vision training product throughout the United States and globally, and we want to benefit as many athletes in their journey, okay, to get where they need to be. And we love that
Right.
part. It's really gratifying.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all here to make money, but I'm going to
Right.
tell you this real quick story. This softball girl, she has AHAD or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Her dad did a review for us. Didn't know who he was. Showed a picture of her, his wife, the coach, and himself, and said his daughter for the last 2 years couldn't bat worth anything. She'd get up there within seconds. She's totally distracted. Someone
Okay.
introduced him to the product real quick. He said, "Well, I got to lose." Anyways, he wrote this review, beautiful 5-star, and said tears came to his eyes because she hit a triple for the first time in her life. And she's
Awesome.
got to be maybe 9 years old in the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, "You wouldn't believe she got player of the day or a game or whatever, right?" And he says, I never seen something work like this did. And he said
Yeah.
he was so excited about letting everybody know that. To
Wow.
me, as a coach, that's gratifying.
Right. Yeah,
When I
for
would
sure.
see kids come in and onto the team and be like, "Coach, I've never played football." I said, "Well, you're in high school now. It's going to be a disadvantage, but we're going to help you get everywhere you can." And to see
Yeah.
them progress is amazing when you
Yeah.
give them the tools and the opportunity that I've learned,
Yeah.
right, to help them. That's huge in my mind.
Yeah.
And I just know that the company needs to have funds, but at the same time, those are the most important to me at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And I
Absolutely.
think everything
Yeah.
else will come after that.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What's it would start to wrap this up. What would be one or two things, if you were to give to the listener and they could apply in their life today, would help them move forward? Uh, you know, right now, what might that be?
Well, for any player that wants to get better, I mean, go look at our product. It's on Amazon. Check out the videos. Check out who's doing what with them, and take a chance. do your homework and see what you think. But it's something that's new, something that you're not going to see from anywhere else, and it's something that a coach can't teach. They can use
Right.
the word focus, but they can't teach you what that really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can practice with these in your backyard with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. They're very, very comfortable. They're lightweight. They're easy. It comes with a carrying pouch. And just take advantage of something that's out there and give it a shot. And you'll be
Yeah.
surprised on maybe what it's going to do for your particular sport and beyond that you didn't think you had the
Absolutely.
capabilities of achieving.
Yeah. Definitely know I'm going to get a couple from I got 3 kids. They're 15 to
Yeah.
11, and got softball to basketball to volleyball to soccer. So, and my son's a goalie, so I know that would help him out for sure. But yeah, so I'll definitely um, get those for my kids, and to help them, like you say, raise their game a bit and take it to the next level. So I appreciate you being here, Jim. What's the best way that people can find you? I know you said obviously it's on Amazon. Do you guys have a website, or you have social
Yeah, we have
media,
a
anything like
website.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. Just go to www.swivelvision.com. That's our website. You can read all about it, see everything you want to see on there, from high levels to low levels, how we all came about. And if you need to reach out to us, you can go to sales@swivelvision.com and email us, and we'll answer you back on any questions you have,
Yeah.
some of the things you might need to know about them. But pretty much, like I said earlier, take them and train them however you feel and have fun with them. They're a
Yeah.
lot of fun
Yeah.
because you get bored out there at baseball and soccer and football because you got the same stuff,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
It
Yeah.
gets boring. Let's
Yeah.
have fun
Absolutely.
and create something that you didn't do before. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
LSU did a real quick thing. Their coach Joe Brady had them catching while wearing the goggles behind closed doors. So he would have them on, open the door, and that football was coming from that football machine that throws the
Okay.
ball.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah, they said that was crazy. But guess what happened? They became three of the top receivers in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
I love it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll definitely get all that stuff linked up for you too. So it's easy to find, easy to access.
Okay.
And appreciate you, Jim, for being here. Thank you.
You too, Nate. Hayden, good luck and hope your kids succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted as well on how it goes.
So your son plays soccer, and he's what